Let's take a look at multiplying rational expressions. At first, these things may look completely and horribly intimidating, like what am I supposed to do with this beast? But once you figure it out, and once you factor the top and the bottom, a lot of factors are going to usually cancel out, and then you will wind up with an expression much simpler and much nicer. But let's take a look at it step by step. Okay, the first thing I want you to remember is that when you multiply two fractions, whether this is numbers or rational expressions with the x or whatever, we always multiply straight across. What that means is that you're going to multiply like this and multiply like this, okay? And then that'll make it into a large fraction, okay? Let me draw one large fraction here. All right, what happens with x squared minus 64? Now, this is the same thing as x squared minus 8 squared. If you remember that there is something called difference of squares, and we have an easy way to factor that. That's just a minus b multiplied by a plus b. And in my example, this is going to be x minus 8 multiplied by x plus 8. Okay, that's going to be here, x minus 8, x plus 8. Now, they're also asking us to factor x squared plus x minus 72. If you try to think about two numbers that would multiply to negative 72, which by the way means that one of them is negative, one of them is positive, and then they should add up to 1, right? Because this right here is just a 1. And maybe you can figure this out on a calculator, but it's just going to be 9 and negative 8, right? Because 9 multiplied by negative 8 is negative 72. When you add them, 9 plus negative 8 is positive 1. Okay, so I got x plus 9, x minus 8, right? So let me write that down. X plus 9, x minus 8. Now I'm going to start looking at this and saying to myself, okay, what will cancel here? What can I cancel? All right, the first thing I do is I see x minus 8 here, x minus 8 here. That cancels out. Then x plus 8 and x plus 9 does not cancel. I'll have to write that. Unfortunately, that doesn't cancel. So x plus 8, x plus 9, I have that here. What about 7 and 35? Well, think of 35. Let me actually cross it out here. But think of 35 as 7 multiplied by 5. If you can think of it like that, then you can see that 7 cancels and another 7 cancels, right? Are we done canceling? No, we just have one more x and x squared. How do we cancel that? Okay, well, remember, again, I'm going to try to delete it here, but what is x squared? It's x multiplied by x, right? And on the top, we had another x. So now we can also cancel one of the x's. Okay, so what's left? X plus 8, x plus 9. And on the bottom, we still have the 5 and the x that didn't cancel. Now here you have to be very careful. You want to put this in parentheses because this is like the whole thing, x plus 9. And then we still have that 5x that's left, and that's going to be on the bottom.